Hey guys, welcome to Daily Venom, Day 15, Part B. This time of year, the word frustration, it comes in many forms and it comes from a variety of sources. From parents, they want their baby to play and they want them to be in the limelight. They want them to succeed because they want their babies to be happy. The players on the field want to be on the field. They want to meet those aspirations and those goals that they set in their head. And then as coaches, we want them to succeed. We want them to execute. We want them to play with a lot of effort and great attitude. And any of that doesn't meet the expectation of the person setting those standards, there's frustration and disappointment. If you've invested a bunch, then disappointment's real. If you haven't invested as much, disappointment's not real. And that's not a value that should be measured because you haven't invested enough to be upset. But our frustration as coaches this time of year comes in things that, I don't know that any of us right now can control, whether it be, the given situation with our pandemic or on the field when we're trying to communicate. Many of these kids are just not experienced enough for us to even communicate, speak the same language to help them. And I think that creates a level of frustration that when you get back after a game, knowing that if you could have done a couple of things here or there, especially on a Thursday night, but we can't even speak to some of the kids in a language they understand because it's too fast. They're too inexperienced and they just don't know what they're doing. And then when you go against a team that has invested a bunch in the weight room and the kids are stronger and they're older sophomores and they've been running the same offense since they were in third and fourth grade, it takes on a different meaning. They've invested in that community in Whiteville and those kids know what they're doing. For our kids, it's the first time that many of these kids have ever heard of gap down, block, or stem out, or you're the force, or you're the alley support. And it's the first time they've even thought about those things. So it makes it very difficult for us as coaches to make adjustments. So what we want to do in the weeks to come is obviously decrease that frustration level. We want to be able to communicate with our kids better and so that they can acknowledge, hey, I know what you're talking about, I can fix it. We couldn't fix anything for those kids last night because most of them did not understand angles, they didn't understand gap of responsibility, they couldn't get lined up, the ball was being put on the ground. There's so many things that would be very frustrating. And I think it just comes from a variety of sources. For tonight's game, we're playing as a varsity. We have 9 sophomores playing varsity football. Our entire defensive secondary had 0 snaps in the spring and have not played varsity football for any time at all. Our entire linebacking corps did not play in that position at all for varsity last year. 0 snaps in that position. We returned 2 defensive linemen, one of which had 4 games experience. That's it. And then the other one is going to be brand new to it. So defense is brand new. It's going to be a tough venture because we're going to run into some of those frustrating things too, just tonight like we did on Thursday night. And then on the offensive side of the ball, our offensive line is the most experienced that we have in our program, but they're not strong enough. And they know it. So we're not mashers. We're not guys that are, benching 300 pounds. So we're having to try to be perfect at angles and engagement and finishing at a little bit lower pad level because we've been too high and we end up catching things more than we deliver blows. So that's an ongoing challenge we're going to run into with them. And then our receiving core, the receivers that we have playing have a total combined number of catches on the varsity level 3. So that's it that they've had in the history of their high school experience. We have 3 catches. Our quarterback obviously got a good bit of amount of time in the spring, but he's still learning because he, even as a senior, he hasn't had the reps that he needed due to injury when he was a sophomore. Our running back has 0 carries on the varsity. So we're looking collectively as our whole program goes as a means of, it's going to be frustrating at times. And I hope everybody understands that. But what we're going to do in weeks to come is try to eliminate that frustration and get better and better and better. And historically, that's how the teams that I've coached have always extended their seasons. We've gotten better and better and better. and you would rather play us at the beginning of the season rather than the end of the season because of what we can do at the end. So I'm just going to keep chugging, and hopefully when we get back into school, I can get a lot of these kids a little bit stronger so that they can get more confident in what they do, and we're not as frustrated by the end result or even the play as a result. But stay focused, stay humble, keep getting after it. We're proud of you. Let's keep trying to get better every single day and week. Day 15B. Hooty hoo.